All right, what's going on, everybody? Peter here. I got one of my partners, Chris West, on the other side. Chris, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I literally just, as we were setting this up, I literally asked Chris. I said, "Chris, isn't there a deal we're working on?" He's like, "Dude, we already closed the deal today." So I'm like, "That's a good problem to have."
I know,
So
right?
first of all, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm sure
Thank
we'll
you.
get the wire hit today, and your money is on its way. Um, so the other thing I told Chris before we got started, not scripted, just off the cuff. I want to just talk to you a little about it. First of all, Chris, tell us about yourself. What did you do pre-real estate?
Pre-real estate. Well, currently I'm in my second year in college, actually. So just going to school before this.
Yeah, that's amazing. When I was in school, I was not trying to figure out like how to make money in real estate. I was like trying to figure out like what to do Friday night.
Yeah, I think
And
that's what everyone has said that to me so far.
yeah, well, but that's, that's true. That's freaking amazing.
Mhm.
That is like the vision that someone like you has, honestly. I mean, sometimes we pump people up, but I'm just telling you that this is no pump up. This is reality. For someone like you, your age, to have the vision, to have the fortitude. And here's the biggest thing I always tell young people: you have an advantage. I mean, think about this. I mean, literally, you get this thing done in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. That's like
Yeah,
before you got
exactly.
started. That's before you
Exactly.
got started. So what you have is you got time on your hand. That is absolutely awesome. So congratulations. What are you studying?
Finance, actually. Hmm.
Oh, dude, that was my
Yeah.
major. I studied finance at Miami. To this day, I tell people, hopefully I don't mess you up too bad, is the most worthless degree. But I
100%.
made it. No, I made it worthless. I made it worthless because, like, if you go to Miami when I graduated,
Mm.
literally, I was at the bottom of the class. Like, there's a person at the top and there's a person at the bottom, and I was at the bottom. Like, if I would have gotten one letter grade lower, I would not have been graduated. So, finance is probably not a worthless degree.
I mean, yeah, you
Students
can do
like me.
something with it,
Yeah, well, anyway,
kind of.
well, that's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, so then you got to talk about this next thing. What got you even thinking real estate at such an early age?
Well, my brother actually just got his real estate license, so he's one of my realtors that I work with for this program. But so I grew up caddying at a country club near here, and I just grew up hearing all of them talk about basically how they make their money. And I would say 90% of them talked about their real estate. And so I was like, so I always knew that's something you could do something with basically. And so for the last like 2 years, my senior year of high school and last year, I just nonstop read about real estate. And I'll eventually, my goal is to get into like apartment complexes and stuff.
Yep.
But I actually saw an ad from like Private Money Gold Mine for the partner driven program. And so I was like, oh, I'll check that out. And so like for 3 days, I just researched you guys constantly. I was like, okay, they're legit. Let's do this. Cause there's so many scams out there kind of, I feel like, that are just like trying to take your money for these programs.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's how I got into it basically.
No, that's awesome. Here's one thing I want you to talk a little bit about because, the one person you're going to hit with obviously is the younger crowd. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you personally, what I've seen the biggest issue with the younger crowd that I've seen is the perspective. It seems like the young people, they want something immediately. Okay.
No,
And,
yeah,
and we,
exactly.
yeah, and we know the real estate doesn't happen overnight. I mean, anybody tells
Mhm.
you real estate's going to happen overnight, it's a full of BS. So why you? I mean, what makes you have the vision, whereas 99 out of 100 other kids out there your age, they're not. They're looking for the, like, work today, get paid Friday, or try something for 2 weeks, and if it doesn't work, they quit. What do you
Yeah.
think separates you from that?
I don't know. I guess, well, I'm a youngest of seven. So everyone that I hang out with is older than me. And so I've kind of just seen the perspective of all my older siblings working a day job and basically hating their lives. And then I see my friends from high school basically doing nothing with their lives except going to college and getting a degree, which doesn't really work for you unless you have like the drive nowadays. And so I basically was like, well, I don't want to be that. And so I started like, I guess my biggest thing was I was listening to like motivational speakers and stuff about just basically just doing something. Like no matter what it is, just start something. And so I guess that's what it is. I just want to be different than what's surrounding me.
What like from your perspective, you and I'm sure you won't mind. How old are you?
20.
What do you think? Do you think you're going to head more towards, well, you kind of answered that question. Do you think you're going to utilize your finance degree more, or is the goal to kind of swerve towards real estate, or is it kind of a mixture of both? Like, where do you see yourself 25, 30 at that age?
100% real estate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is, and look, I'm not telling you anything I'm sure you don't know. I mean, although you're having, it's great that we're closing deals and all that, but this comes with sets of challenges, right? Real estate is not easy.
Oh yeah. It's not easy at all.
So let me ask you this. When crap hits the fan for you, and it will, I promise you, there'll be shit that hits you out of the left field that you'll be like, is this even worth it? How do you think you're going to get through it? I mean, is it just your attitude? Are you ready for it? Is it because you have been always associated with older people 2 steps ahead of you? What's going to get you through those tough times?
I think it's myself, I'm always looking to grow, and for those challenges, actually, that's why I'm doing real estate at such a young age, because I saw your program. I was like, oh, I'll try this, because I've always been shy. And so I was like, oh, you have to cold call these people. I was like, okay, let's learn how to cold call. And so I think that's what's going to get me through, is I'm always looking for a challenge and basically pushing through that barrier and on to the next step in a way.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. We closed our deal today. From what I understand, the wire is in the house, or going to be in the house sometime today. So you're going to get, so let's talk specifically about this deal. Let's talk from zero. How did you go about finding it?
I drove around. Around the city, yeah.
That's pretty sophisticated, because people tell us every day that doesn't work. I mean, literally every day we're like, oh, that doesn't work. Okay, so walk us through. You drove around, and what happened? I mean, what about this deal stood out, or this property?
There's this little like hotspot areas downtown that are being revamped, because there's old historic districts that are super in right now, and so everyone around it is basically brand new houses, and this one was the only one that was basically, it was falling apart. It was really rough. And so it was the only one. I was like, all right, I'm going to write it down. And so I wrote it down, went home, put in the app, and then I got his number, called him up, and he was like, all right. And so we set an appointment. The first time it was kind of iffy if he wanted to sell it, but then I convinced him, and he was okay with it, because he was working on like 2 other projects, and he just didn't have the time to get to this right now. And I was like, well, we can do this right now, and you can sell it. So he's like, all right, I'm going to take that down. So
that's awesome. So you put it into our deal driven app, you skip traced it. You got a phone number, you called the owner, happened to be at the right place at the right time. It was good. You did some negotiations. From the time you made that initial call to the day you put under contract, about how much time passed?
2 days.
2 days. Perfect. That's one thing I tell people. It's amazing to me how many people make contacts, and then it's like you're talking to them like, oh yeah, I contacted that seller like 3 months ago or 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, you got to create that sense of, if there's any kind of inkling of an opportunity, you got to go for it.
Yeah. I think I'm working on my 4th. I've gotten, well, I guess the one that I just closed. All 4 of my contracts have been from follow-ups like 2 days later, because they were like iffy on it. And then I called them again, and then they were fine with it.
That's awesome. Do you happen to know the numbers offhand on this deal we just did?
Bought it for 107, wholesaled it for 135. So 135 minus the 6%.
Not bad for a kid your age, right? I don't know how much. Do you live in a dorm, or are you by yourself?
No, I actually live with my parents. So.
Okay. I don't know how many 20-year-olds that live with their parents are cranking out, like, I don't know what that adds up, $15,000-$20,000.
I know.
That's awesome. Now, is the plan to continue living with them, save up some money? Is the plan to go on your own ultimately? I mean, ultimately, I'm sure, yes.
Yeah, ultimately, I would say hopefully in like a year, get out of here.
Okay, good. I like, again, long-term thinking. I like it. So look, this is the question of the times of where we are right now. There's a lot of people, because you know that you got the virus. By the time a lot of people will listen to it, I'm sure maybe the virus will be gone. But there's always a reason for people not to do something, right? Well, the virus is going on. I'm not going to do it. Oh, I'm getting a new job, so I'm going to lay low on this. Oh, yeah, exactly. My kids just moved in, or my kids just moved out. Oh, I'm not feeling good. So there's always a reason for somebody not to continue their pathway to success. There's always a reason for someone to say, well, I'm just going to take a little break, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now is the ultimate reason to take a break, right? We're quarantined. A lot of people can't leave their houses. what do you tell that person right now that's listening that says, I'm just going to kick back. I'm just going to crawl underneath my bed. I'm going to wait it out. I'm not going to do anything. What do you tell that person?
I think my girlfriend actually showed me this the other day, is you can have a million reasons why you can't do something, but all you need is that one reason to do it. And my reason is I was bored and school got turned online and I saw your program. I was like, all right, just do this on my side time, and got it done.
You know, it's amazing you say it, because I tell people the exact same thing. Everything is a matter of perspective, right? This situation is happening to us all alike. I mean, like, we're literally all in it together. Some people look at it from this perspective. Oh, I'm going to crawl underneath my bed because, you know, shit just hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Other people look at it just like you do. Oh, well, I got to be here anyway. I got to do something. So I'm either going to better myself, you know what I mean? I'm going to better myself. I'm going to grow with this thing. I'm going to go further and all this. Everything in life, it's all about perspective. It's not what happens. It's how you react to it. It's the perspective you take and all that. Man, listen, listen, first of all, I appreciate you taking the time. And I will tell you, Chris, without a shadow of a doubt, you're an absolute inspiration. Not only seeing this deal through during the times we're in right now, but at your age, having the forethought, the attitude, having the gumption to do this thing. I'm sure not every 20-year-old one of your friends is doing this with you. You know, so it's not like, yeah, well, your buddy's saying, come on. I mean, you know, as much of an opportunity as you have to do this, I also know you got a lot of things going against you. You know what I mean? And you battle through it. You battle through it. Not all your friends, I'm sure, like I said, are supporting. We're in some weird times. You know, you're sharing a place with your parents. So I'm sure you got to have some compromises there. I mean, that is absolutely awesome. You're an absolute positively inspiration, Chris. I want to do more deals. Every time we do a deal, I want to bring you back. I want you to go through shit, and I want you to get tougher and tougher and tougher. And I'm telling you, people like you're such an inspiration. I'm just so glad to call you a partner, Chris. I mean, I really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm happy to call you a partner too. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. Hey, email Mary your wiring instructions. Your wiring.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Congratulations. Congratulations, Chris. So glad. See you, buddy. Bye-bye.